This is our new puppy, Miso. She's 10 weeks old and already earned the nickname Tiny Terror and Chaos Witch. Which means we have some puppy proofing to do. So we're gonna design and 3D print some solutions in this video. Why are we charming Dad's fingy? Her madness is well documented at this point. And being a puppy, she's only 10 weeks old, she's not very stable on her feet, so we're worried about her going up and down these steps and, well, tumbling down. No. So I need a way to prevent Miso from getting onto the first step to even begin the journey, but not prevent the other animals and ourselves from doing so as well. A baby gate is just a little bit more of a hurdle than we particularly need for this case. I have a pretty good idea how we're going to handle this problem, but first we're going to have to make a quick trip to Lowe's. A little over a year ago, I had to say goodbye to my best friend of 13 years, Domino, a Maltipoo pup that followed me around like my shadow. If you saw me at Lowe's, you would have seen her on the floor behind me walking in my footsteps. Now fast forward a year, and I'm not going to say I'm over it, but I was ready to welcome a new fluffy assistant into my life. Welcome Miso to her first trip to Lowe's of what I'm sure will be hundreds in her lifetime. If you pay close attention to my videos, you probably see our other pup Nori in them as well. I adore Nori and she loves me, but she's more bonded to my partner Ruby than she is to me. So Miso is here to both be a friend to Nori, but also to give me a little more emotional support that I probably need from day to day. Quick store frustration. I need stain for this project, but I don't need a lot. These pints are $9. The quart, double the amount, is $14. So I bought a quart. They absolutely got me on this pricing. It's probably why they do it. It's just annoying. In the future, day to day, you'll see Nori and Miso following me around, but I felt for her first trip to Lowe's, this momentous occasion, it made sense for it just to be me and her. From the start, I had a pretty solid idea about how I wanted to handle this. A dowel spanning across the stairwell just high enough that Miso can't get up over it, but we won't be tripping over it the whole time. Nori was kind enough to help me figure out the right height. When I told Ruby what my idea was, she had an addition to it that was absolutely brilliant.
Is it gonna spin?
Bearings, of course. If the dowel rolls, Miso won't be able to get a grip on it to launch herself over it. She'll pull and it'll just spin. This made my design really straightforward. I designed mounts that are going to stick to each wall and have cradles to support said bearings. Building it's pretty simple. Cut down the dowel to the length I need, sand it. Don't. I know what you're thinking. Don't. And stain it to match the hardwood in our living room. Hopefully. We'll see how close I got. With that drying, it's time to get parts 3D printing. So I sent them over to my Prusa print farm, studio sponsor and sponsor of this video. I'm printing the parts for the dowel in the new Prusa Ultra Glow PETG, which requires a hardened nozzle. This stuff is abrasive. You can see it here. Compare the filament on the left to the right. That is also glow-in-the-dark filament, but the Ultra Glow is just so much rougher. With the parts for this portion of the project printed, it's time to prepare them for installation. The end caps for the dowel have a stud on them that bearing slides over, and then a countersunk screw passes through that to expand it into the bearing and hold it tight. The screw also passes all the way through to reinforce the pivot point. Now I have a maker tip for you. The bearings I chose to use for this project are pretty common in 3D printing projects. They're called 608s. A lot of aftermarket spool holder designs use these bearings, but they're intended for skateboard wheels, things like that, higher load and higher RPM than our applications. So I like to pop the dust seal out of them, clean them out with solvent, get the grease out of there, and then put the dust seal back in. For lower load limit applications like what I'm doing here, or a single kilogram of filament spinning around this, it's going to spin a lot smoother and it's going to hold up just fine for those applications without grease in there. With assembly sorted, it's time to talk about installation. We had to decide on a height. Too high and Miso can slip under it. Too low and she's already trying to jump over it. She's only going to grow from here. But she's going to grow, so she won't be able to slip under it forever. It really was hard to decide what height to put it at, and we really painstaked about it, to the point where I was getting a little concerned this just wasn't going to work. We landed on, let's actually just install it. Let's see what happens when it's not being held by somebody, when it's spinning on the bearings like it's intending to, and what actually happens when she tries to get over it. Oh, and that chunk was out of the drywall when we moved in, I swear. This just happens to be covering up and going exactly in the same spot. VHB tape holds the end plates, the mount plates, onto the walls, and then the dowel actually slides inside of the end caps so I can expand out the end caps to meet the mounts and not have to get the fit exactly right or have it be too large. Then comes testing. Unfortunately, Nori's kind of scared of the thing and she doesn't want to try and get over it, which isn't the worst thing. But the moment of truth, Miso slips on the thing. It spins and it seems like she's not willing to try and jump over it. Even when thoroughly motivated by PB, she's not having it. It starts to spin, she can't get a grip, and that's that. Oh, and if you wondered why Ultra Glow Filament, it was so it would glow in the dark and hopefully we won't trip over it at night. At the top of the same steps, there's a baby gate already. This is to keep the cats from going up to the second floor when we don't want them to, aka middle of the night to tell us they need to eat when their bowls are full. This does its job for the cats, but Miso can actually fit through the sides, so we need to close up some gaps, and this doesn't quite fit in this opening correctly, so we need to address that. Don't get me wrong, we adore our feline four-legged friends, but when it comes to the wee hours of the morning, they turn into Jekyll and Hyde monsters wanting to wake us up. So this baby gate absolutely has to stay. I landed on this design. A simple slotted look that'll hopefully match the gaps in the bars of the baby gate, but still provide the closeout of the gap that we need to deal with. I printed this on the Core 1L in Prusa PETG Urban Gray color, hopefully to blend into our millennial gray blue house. Zip ties attached through the slots for each of the bar retention sections, and I printed these pucks as well. These are going to help me to actually get the baby gate fitting better in the stairwell opening by spacing out the feet a few millimeters just to get things a little tighter. Previously, these were extended as far as they went, and it wasn't the most stable. I definitely went overkill on the zip ties here, but the purpose has been achieved. The gap to the side of the gate is blocked off. Miso is very much a puppy, meaning she chews on everything. So I jumped onto printables and grabbed these cable raceways to protect not only our pup, but our cables too. In some of my recent videos, folks have said that I've been coming off a bit negative, and that's totally fair. I've been really leaning on trying to be honest with you folks, both the good and the bad. In content creation, sometimes things get amplified, and the bad is going to seem really bad when that's the case, so I get it. But that said, I have a puppy now, so aside from a screwed up sleep schedule, I have a new furry friend to hang out with day in, day out. It's kind of hard to be negative right now. Out of an abundance of caution, we took our mattress off of a bed frame and put it right on the floor. It feels like we're back in college again. She's not steady on her feet yet, so she falls off the side of this. I'm glad we made this choice, but the stairs she uses to get up and down are a little narrower than she probably needs because she falls off the side of these pretty often. Why I felt a need to bring the stairs to the studio to measure them, I haven't a clue, but here we are. The actual stair tread will be made up of the shelf board we picked up during our Lowe's trip earlier. And the risers will be 3D printed using Prusa Urban Gray PETG. The Those risers are designed to accept the shelf board, but I want to give it a quick round over as the way these boards come is very sharp edged and will want rounded corners in a moment. A pocket in each of the riser pieces accepts the board and then has a couple of screw holes to screw in from the sides to just make sure everything stays together once a pup's jumping up and down on it. A puppy who isn't steady on her feet will slip and slide on bare wood, so I grabbed this area rug as well. I'll use this to give some traction and some padding to the step, stapling it on the underside so I can then wrap it all the way around the step, pull it nice and tight, and then staple it and cut off the excess. And that gives us our custom step to our dorm room mattress.
Yeah, perfect.
With that, we have puppy-proofed our place with printing. Saying proof with this little tear around is probably a stretch, but I'm really happy with the progress we've made. We've protected the stairs, the baby gate, the bed, and some of our errant cables. I'll probably be printing quite a bit more of those cable raceways as she's currently trying to grab the wire to one of my lights. As it is, I'm really happy with the way this project turned out. I'm really happy to have a new puppy in the house, and I hope you folks have enjoyed this. You're going to be seeing Miso a whole lot more in future videos. Thanks for checking this video out. Let me know in the comments what you might have done to puppy-proof, kitty-proof your house with 3D printing. I'd love to hear about it. And get subscribed to ensure your 3D prints don't fail. It's not a guarantee, but it can't hurt. See ya!
What a tiny terror. Oh my goodness.
The most vicious.
Vicious.